20 trades, not 20 wins, not 20 perfect executions. 20 consistent trades, meaning you followed your process exactly as written 20 times in a row. No deviation, no exceptions, no emotional overrides. And if you can do that, everything changes. Not because 20 is a magic number, but because 20 consistent repetitions is the minimum threshold for your brain to start rewiring itself. Today, I am going to tell you exactly what happens in those 20 trades, why most traders never get there, and what shifts when you do. Let's begin. 1. The biological first step. Your brain does not learn from understanding. It learns from repetition. You can read hundreds of books about trading psychology, watch thousands of videos, understand every concept intellectually, and none of it will change your behavior. Because intellectual understanding lives in your prefrontal cortex while your trading decisions happen in your limbic system, your emotional brain, the survival brain. And that brain does not speak the language of logic, it speaks the language of pattern and repetition. The first 20 consistent trades are not about making money, they are about building new neural pathways. Every time you follow your rule instead of your impulse, you are strengthening a connection. Every time you take the setup even though you are scared, you are weakening the fear response. Every time you cut the loss without hesitation, you are rewiring the pain association. 20 times. That is the minimum for the new pathway to start feeling normal, for the discipline to stop being a fight and start being automatic. If you truly grasp the importance of this, you also understand how important each disciplined step is. Meet Ryan. He understood risk management, could explain it perfectly. 1% per trade. Stop loss always in place. Never move it. He knew the rules, but knowing and doing are not the same. His first trade following the rules felt wrong. His second felt worse. By the fifth, he was exhausted from fighting himself. His brain screamed at him to move the stop, to give it more room, to let it come back. And he fought that voice. 10th trade. Still fighting. 15th. The voice was quieter, but still there. 20th trade. Something shifted. The fight was gone. Following the rule felt normal, not easy, but normal. His brain had rewired. The new pathway was built. And from that point forward, discipline stopped being a war and started being the default. But he had fought an incredible battle to get there, and most importantly, no matter what, he had not abandoned his discipline, because he realized every decision was a wiring decision. Every trading decision is also a wiring decision. Which side of you are you strengthening? Your impulsive side or the side that follows your rules? The choice is yours. The war will not always be this hard if you can endure until 20 trades. 2. The pain. Those first 20 trades hurt, psychologically. Not because you are losing money, but because you are fighting every instinct you have. Your brain hates change and resists it to the death. It hates uncertainty. And when you force it to act against its programming, it fights back. With anxiety, with doubt, with the overwhelming feeling that you are doing something wrong. Most traders interpret this pain as a sign they are on the wrong path. They think if it feels this bad, the system must be broken. So they quit, switch strategies, start over, and the cycle repeats. But the pain is not a bug. It is a feature. It is your brain resisting the rewiring, and the only way through it is through it. So do not suppress the pain and the feeling of wrongness. On the contrary, accept this as a sign you are on the right path and be happy. Continue. Reach 20 trades without a single compromise. Wire yourself so discipline becomes your default. Meet Sophia. Her first 10 trades following her new rules felt terrible. She was nauseous before entering, second-guessing every decision, lying awake replaying the trades. She thought something was wrong with her, that she was not cut out for this, that the strategy was bad. But she kept going. 15th trade. Still uncomfortable but less intense. 18th trade. The nausea was gone. 20th trade. She felt calm. The psychological turbulence was not failure, it was growth, her brain fighting the change. And once she understood that, she stopped interpreting the pain as a problem. She saw it as progress. 3. The death loop. Here is why most traders never make it to 20 consistent trades. They keep resetting the counter. 5 trades with strategy A. It does not feel right. Switch to strategy B. 7 trades. Not working fast enough. Switch to strategy C. 3 trades. Lost money. Switch to strategy D. They spend years trading, thousands of trades total, but never 20 consecutive trades with the same system. And without those 20, the rewiring never happens. The new pathway never forms. They stay stuck in the beginner loop forever, jumping from method to method, always starting over, never building the neural infrastructure that makes execution automatic. I want you to apply both your strategy and all your other rules flawlessly. Do this without compromise for 20 trades. And observe what happens in those 20 trades. Observe your emotions. I want to give an example for myself here. Personally, the first time I was truly profitable, I was applying my discipline and system flawlessly. And at some point, I stopped enjoying it at all. My brain somehow wanted to bend the rules, because the trading game had no unknowns left. Everything was clear: how many trades I would take, where I would stop out, where I would take profit, how much risk I would take, what my strategy was. Everything was so clear that the trading game lost all its appeal to me. And then I realized something incredible. Everything becoming clear and being within rules had killed all the appeal of trading for me. So I had actually been enjoying playing the uncertainty gamble for years, not actually trading. That is why I was addicted to trading. When I was subject to a real system and set of rules, yes, I made money, but I no longer desired trading as much as before. And this shocked me at first, but now it does not shock me at all. Under the guise of trying to build a trading career, I was legitimizing and satisfying an addiction. And this is actually a very painful thing when you look at it. This truth hurt me a lot. Of course, when you first start, you can try many things and do a lot of nonsense. You have the right. But set yourself a time period, and at some point choose to be subject to the set of rules and clear strategy that will kill all the appeal of trading. Because at that point, it will stop being an addiction and become your boring daily job that prints money. So will we not enjoy it at all? No. The things we can enjoy will actually just change. Your battle with yourself will always continue, and this battle is very enjoyable because each step you take in the path of discipline and rules means you are maturing. Every dominance you establish over your impulses means victory. Meet Daniel, 5 years trading, 12 different strategies. He could talk about all of them, explain the logic, show the backtests. But he had never traded any single one for more than a month. Every time he hit a drawdown, he switched. Every time he saw someone else making money with a different approach, he switched. 5 years, zero progress. Because he never gave his brain the repetition it needed to rewire. He was stuck in the death loop, constantly searching for the system that would feel right immediately. He had become addicted to feeling right. That was the most important thing, when in fact it was just his brain manipulating him to keep him safe. But we are beings who live very obsessed with our feelings, and we do not understand that no system will feel right until our brain adapts to it. And adaptation requires 20 consistent repetitions, minimum. Minimum. 4. Emotional neutralization. The 21st trade feels different. The excitement is gone. The fear is muted. Winning does not create a high. Losing does not create devastation. And most traders panic when this happens. They think they have lost their edge, that they have become numb, that something is wrong. But nothing is wrong. This is the goal. This is what consistency looks like. Trading is supposed to be boring. The moment it stops being emotionally intense is the moment you have arrived. And we are exposed to emotional ups and downs for so many years that we misinterpret all this calmness. Welcome to real trading. A lot of nonsense you distracted yourself with for years to avoid getting here is behind you. And now, everything is changing. Meet Alex. After his 20th consistent trade, he noticed something strange. A win came in. He felt nothing. Checked the P and L. Confirmed the profit. Still nothing. No rush, no celebration, just data. He thought maybe he was depressed, maybe he had burned out. But then he took his next trade. Managed it perfectly. Cut it at the stop. And again, nothing. No frustration, no anger. Just execution. That is when he realized. The emotional neutralization was not a problem. It was mastery. His brain had stopped treating trades as life or death events. They were just trades, part of a series, and that detachment made his execution flawless. That is when he truly understood everything was right. 5. Mathematical acceptance. Before the 20 trades, every loss feels personal, like the market is punishing you, like you did something wrong, like you failed. After the 20 trades, loss becomes a business expense. You do not celebrate when you pay rent. You do not panic when you buy inventory. You accept it as part of operating the business. Same with trading losses. After 20 consistent trades, your brain reclassifies loss from punishment to cost. And that shift changes everything. You stop avoiding risk. You stop holding losers, hoping they come back. You cut fast, move on. Because the loss is not about you anymore. It is just math. And as your trade count increases, this perspective gets even stronger. It becomes even easier for you. If you do not reset the process and go back to the beginning. Meet Maya. Before her 20 trades, every stop loss hurt. Emotionally, she would replay the trade, question her entry, wonder if she should have held longer. After the 20th trade, she took a loss, cut at the stop, and moved on immediately. No replay, no questioning. Just closed it and started looking for the next setup. Her friend asked her how she was not upset. Maya said it is like buying coffee. I knew it would cost $4 before I ordered it. I am not upset when I pay. I expected it. Same with the stop. I knew the cost before I entered. The loss was not a surprise. It was the agreed-upon price to find out if the trade would work. It is that simple. 6. Pattern fluency. When you first learn to read, you sound out letters. C-A-T, cat, slow, effortful. After enough repetition, you stop reading letters. You see the word cat instantly. No effort. Trading is the same. The first few trades, you are analyzing every candle, every indicator, every signal. Slow, deliberate, checking and rechecking. After 20 consistent trades, you stop analyzing. You start seeing. The pattern recognition becomes automatic. You look at the chart and you just know. Setup or no setup. No deliberation required. This is fluency, and it only comes from repetition. Lots of repetition. Meet Jordan. First 10 trades took him an hour each to decide. He would check every condition, reread his rules, second-guess the entry, stare at the chart until he convinced himself. 20th trade appeared. He looked at the chart. 2 seconds, setup, entered, done. Not because he got careless, but because his brain had encoded the pattern. He was no longer reading letters. He was reading words. The pattern fluency made his execution faster and more confident. Not from arrogance, from recognition. 7. Emotion invasion. Here is what most traders misunderstand. After 20 consistent trades, fear and greed do not disappear. They still show up. The difference is they no longer have decision-making authority. Before the rewiring, fear says, do not take this trade, and you do not take it. Greed says, hold this winner longer, and you hold it. The emotion has veto power. After the rewiring, fear still shows up. It still whispers. But it does not decide. Your process decides. The emotion is there, but it is no longer in charge. It has been demoted from CEO to irrelevant background noise, and every time you do not listen to it, its power decreases. Meet Chris. After his 23rd trade, he felt fear. Setup appeared. His stomach tightened. His hands shook. The fear was real. But he took the trade anyway. Not because he was brave, but because the fear no longer had authority. His rules said take the trade. So he did. The fear was just a passenger, not the driver. That is the shift. Emotions do not vanish. They just lose their ability to override the system. And that loss of authority is what separates professionals from amateurs. 8. Guru independence. Before 20 consistent trades, you need external validation. You ask in forums. You check what other traders are doing. You look for confirmation that you are on the right path. You need someone else to tell you it is okay. After 20 trades, that need dies. You stop caring what others think. You stop comparing your results to theirs. You stop looking for approval. Because you have proof. 20 consecutive executions. You kept your word to yourself 20 times. And that self-trust is more valuable than any external validation. You must build this confidence no matter what. Just 20 trades. And your strategy and rules you will never compromise on. Meet Taylor. Before the 20 trades, constantly in Discord groups, posting trades, asking opinions, seeking reassurance. After the 20th trade, left the groups. Stopped posting. Stopped asking. Not out of arrogance, but because the external voices were just noise. Taylor had developed internal certainty. The system worked, or it did not. But that would reveal itself over hundreds of trades, not from someone else's opinion after 5. The guru independence was not rebellion. It was freedom. Freedom from needing anyone else to tell you if you are doing it right. You need nobody. 9. Character construction. Confidence does not come from winning. It comes from keeping your word. Every time you say you will do something and then do it, you build self-trust. Every time you say you will follow the rule and then break it, you erode self-trust. You question yourself. The 20 consistent trades are not about the market. They are about proving to yourself that you can be trusted, that when you commit to something, you follow through. And that self-trust becomes the foundation of everything. It makes you calm under pressure. It makes you willing to take the next trade after a loss. It makes you able to hold a winner without panic, because you trust yourself to manage it. To build confidence, combine a strategy that is as simple as possible with a few simple but effective rules and apply it. Meet Morgan. Struggled with confidence for years, thought it would come from a big win, from hitting a profit target, from proving to others that trading worked. But after 20 consistent trades, confidence appeared. Not from the results, from the consistency. Morgan had said follow the system and followed it, 20 times, no exceptions. That kept promise built something no win ever could, self-respect. And self-respect is what confidence actually is, not belief in your predictions, but belief that you will do what you say you will do. 10. The final truth. The perfect system does not win. The perfect executor wins. You can have the most back-tested, highest expectancy, mathematically proven strategy in the world, and if you cannot execute it consistently, it is worthless. Execution beats strategy, every time, and execution is not a personality trait. It is a skill, if built through repetition. 20 consistent trades is the minimum to start building that skill. Not the end, the beginning. But most traders never get there. They chase the perfect system instead of becoming the perfect executor. And they stay broke. So tell yourself you are progressing on the path to becoming the perfect executor. The problem is your execution, and you know this too. And to eliminate this problem, start a series of 20 trades. 20 perfectly executed trades. Meet Sam. Spent 3 years optimizing a strategy, backtested it on 10 years of data, win rate 68%, profit factor 2.4, beautiful on paper. In practice, Sam could not execute it. Took setups early, held losers too long, cut winners too fast. The strategy was perfect. The executor was not. Meanwhile, another trader named Jamie had a mediocre strategy. Win rate 52%, profit factor 1.6. Nothing special. But Jamie executed it flawlessly. Every trade, no deviation. Jamie made money, Sam did not, because the system is not the edge. The ability to execute the system is the edge, and that ability is built in the first 20 consistent trades. Everything changes after 20 consistent trades. Not because the market changes, because you change, your brain rewires. The pain stops being a deterrent. The death loop breaks, emotions neutralize, loss becomes math, patterns become fluent, emotions lose authority. External validation becomes irrelevant, self-trust builds, and execution becomes possible. 20 trades. That is the threshold. Not 20 wins. 20 consistent executions. Can you do it? Most cannot. And that is why most fail. Not because they do not know enough, but because they never built the neural infrastructure that makes discipline automatic. Stop looking for the better system. Start executing the one you have. 20 times. No exceptions. And watch everything change.